Hey, dog, what a fun finish in golf. If you don't like golf, you are missing out on one of the best finishes so far in golf this year. I know we had high standards for what the Evian did, but dog, this three-hole playoff between JJ Spawn and Justin Rose kind of just competed with it. And we're going to get into all things golf, man. Again, I'm Geremy Davis, former NFL player and host of Golf and Gospel, and we got the best PT in all of Arizona, man. Former D1 Nebraska golfer Nate Wong. Bro, let's just jump into this thing right now, man. Let's talk about the FedEx St. Jude. And I don't want to jump the gun too much, man. I want to talk about regulation because a lot of things happened in regulation before we got into the playoffs, man. But this thing I want to start off with, let's talk about Tommy Fleetwood in regulation, man, because it's exciting to see what he did, but it hurts so much that it didn't turn out the way that we all wanted for it to turn out for him.
He just couldn't score on the front nine, dude. And he was hitting his driver kind of crappy, but making a lot of par saves, so I kept him in there. And then on the back nine, it kind of started to turn her on, and I was like, dude, we might see a Fleetwood win here.
Finally.
But dude, it's hard to beat someone who makes 4 birdies on the last 5 holes, and then someone else shoots 65 on Sunday. So,
yeah.
like, this one wasn't as heartbreaking because it didn't feel like he lost it. It felt like someone just snuck up ahead of him, you know?
I don't know, bro, because I'm going to get into this more, but at the time, Justin Rose was 3 shots back at hole 14.
Yes, dude. He's like
and
12.
Bro, yeah, and Fleetwood was playing incredible, bro. Get to hole 17, he has a disgusting bogey. Like, that putt looked like he didn't even try. I'm not trying to diminish or kick him down lower than what he is. But I was like, man, because like as soon as he hit it, he just walked up to hit his next putt. I was like, what happened there? And it's just so disappointing because I think people even in the field want to see Tommy win. Now, they're not going to hand it to him. They're not going to hand it to him, but it's just like, why would you miss that, Tommy? Like, what are we doing, bro? Yeah, and that's when Justin Rose went on to make that 22-foot birdie, and then it takes over the lead. But the thing I think also kind of, I don't want to say it really hurt Tommy by any means, but he opened up day 4 with a bogey. But like you said, he started to climb back, had a really good back nine. It was just crazy when we get to those final three holes with Tommy Fleetwood. He finished with 1 over on the last 3 holes. You can't do that.
Yeah, it was definitely underwhelming, especially like on 18, he hits it in the bunker. And maybe his mentality changed because he was solo lead at one point. I don't know if he knew that he was solo lead, but it did kind of feel like he played a little bit of different golf when he was, because he was like down by 2, I think, at one point. And then
it ended up turning out that way.
And then he got like 3 birdies on the back nine, and then it's like now he's solo lead because Scottie started to fall off. And then. Well, JJ never fell off. JJ was just always.
He was hovering. He was hovering around the whole time.
I know, dude. He was on point with his wedges and his putter. Honestly.
Yeah. Hey, stock up for lap putter, dog. The stock is up.
I freaking hate those stupid lap putters.
Do you?
Okay. It's just the aesthetics. Okay. Obviously,
it's not a pretty club.
Speak for themselves. But freaking Ricky Fowler had the lap putter, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's because Ricky's a smaller guy, but
JJ Spawn's a bigger
lap putter. He's a bigger lap putter than JJ, right? Like, that's like a different head.
I think so, because JJ got that one with like the circle behind it, and like I'm sure there's a specific name for it.
Yeah, Ricky has the same one, I think, but I think it's just bigger. I'm like, dude,
the face is bigger.
What a freaking ugly putter, dude. So
that's funny.
When I saw Ricky putt with it, I was like, dude, who wants to look at that when they putt, dude?
Hey, at that point, like you said, if it's going in, who cares how it looks, man?
Yeah. Anyways, lap putter to the moon. Even after I said that.
Yeah, 100%, man. But I think in terms of Tommy Fleetwood, man, it's sad to see, man. So close once again, bro. We talked about on the previous show how I think he's number 3 in scoring average, and the only one in the top 8 who doesn't have a win. And coming down to the end there, we're thinking like, dang, this is finally what we're about to see. Yeah. I mean, again, you're 3 shots up. Or at least Rose is 3 shots back at hole 14, bro. And, like, I don't want to call Tommy a choke artist at all. By no means, bro. And golf is super hard, guys. I want you to understand that. And I love Tommy Fleetwood. But before this and the Travelers, I always say, like, the way he lost was never in his control. And I always bring up the Nick Taylor putt at RBC Canadian. Like, there was nothing Tommy can do about Nick Taylor making a 72-foot putt. But, like, unfortunately, what happened at the Travels and Keegan Bradley just kind of pushing it. I know that everyone watched the close up. There was that pebble in the way and stuff like that. I mean, clean your area if anything. And then also
Yeah.
with this one, like hole 17, I was like, what was that read, bro? I don't know if it's the jitters or what, bro.
Yeah.
I'm only saying this again, not to kick him down because I hurt for him because I want to see Tommy win, bro. I picked him as one of my
Yeah.
predictors. I picked him.
Well,
I thought we were
17.
gonna see back to back first time winners.
Yeah. Well, 17. He had a bad approach, and then wasn't he like putting? Like he had like a long putt on 17, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, what a you
Yeah,
gotta leave yourself a better par putt than that. But
yeah, yeah. He does. He does.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know why. It just didn't feel as heartbreaking to me. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe because like when it actually came down to the end, like it came to realize like okay, this is between Justin Rose and JJ Spawn, but
That's
in
probably
reality,
why. Yeah.
yeah, because like the other one, it was like this is literally you and Keegan.
Yeah.
Um,
On 18. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So maybe that's why it feels a little bit different, but it just sucks because he was in control all weekend, bro, all weekend, and to let it come crashing down on the last three holes is just like, dang, bro.
Yeah.
It
It's a good
sucks.
point.
It sucks. Yeah, yeah. Hey, this is a question I got for you, bro. And we spoke about this in our group chat with me, you, and the homie Noah Reed. Do you think there would be a different outcome if Rory was in the field? Because
Dude, that's what I was saying.
yeah, and you said you texted before me, but I was thinking the same thing. If we look at both the playoffs that JJ Spawn and Justin Rose were in, they both lost to Rory. Go back to the Masters. Justin Rose played Rory in the playoff.
Yeah,
Obviously,
dude.
Rory ended up birdieing. Justin Rose made a par, which is it was a good. They both had great approach shots, but Justin Rose lost to Rory. And then we go back to TBC Sawgrass. Unfortunately, it wasn't that close. I mean, we look at regulation. JJ Spawn was inches away from winning the TPC Sawgrass if it would win on 18. Went into Monday, a playoff with an experienced, talent, Hall of Famer vet and Roy McIlroy. Hole 17 really let JJ Spawn down. So that's his own lone playoff appearance, but also losing to Roy McIlroy, man. So again, the question is, do we think there would have been a different outcome if Rory was in the field?
Yo, dude, just because I wanted the tournament to end earlier, I'm like, I wish Rory was here because Rory, the announcers never explicitly said this, but like, because they're all like, both these guys had bad playoff experiences, and I'm like, yeah, to the same person,
Yes.
like Rory against the players, JJ Spawn, and then Rory against Justin Rose of the Masters. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, if Rory played, who knows? What if Rory would have just beat him in regulation, you know? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good
that
point.
it kind of dragged. I mean, I don't want to say because the playoffs was still interesting golf. Like they
Very.
still
Hmm.
like JJ Spawn with that long putt was like Oakmont again, you
I
know.
know. I know.
And Justin Rose was clutch. Like he made two birdies in a row on back-to-back holes in the playoffs. It was super clutch, but it's like
Yeah.
still lost to Rory in the
Yeah,
playoffs, you know.
he did. He did. Hey, even speaking about, you know, what, I don't even want to jump the gun. So let's move on to Justin Rose. Talking about strictly in regulations, man. Again, like I said, he was 3 shots back at hole 14. Went on a crazy birdie streak. Hit 4 birdies in a row, except on 18, but wasn't really. I mean, he could have ended it at 18 by making a birdie. Really close putt. He was putting when his flat stick got crazy towards the end, but sunk 4 birdies in a row. 22-foot birdie on hole 17. Just barely missed the putt on 18. Ended up going into the playoffs. But what kind of resurgence did you see from Justin Rose? Because I don't know if anybody was truly ever thinking about Justin Rose. I don't know if we ever picked
Yeah,
Justin Rose in a long, long time. Here we go with that.
yeah, dude. Well, when he was -12, I was like, it's not. It's. I was thinking when he was -12, it was between Scottie, Fleetwood, and
Hmm.
JJ Spawn. But I was
Yeah,
thinking mainly JJ Spawn and Scottie.
for sure.
Because they were going back and forth. Like
They
when one guy
were.
made a birdie, the other guy made a birdie.
Yes. Yes.
And they were in the same pairing, so it was kind of interesting to watch there.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Justin Rose. I mean, like he was sneakily hitting very, very good approach shots, and
He was.
he just made a few mistakes. Like, didn't he hit in the water in one of the holes?
Yes.
Or
Yes. He did. He
yeah,
did. He did.
on
Yeah.
like a 9 or something
Hmm.
like that. I think it
Hmm.
was hole 9. He hit it in the
Yeah.
water on his approach. That's right. He hit it hit it up and then like it rolls back in the water. When that happened, I was all like, it's pretty much over. So no offense, Justin Rose. I didn't mean to count you out. Obviously, you ended
Yeah.
up winning,
Yeah.
um, but when you do stuff like that, and you have guys like Scotty, and you have guys like JJ and Fleetwood, and
Hmm.
dude, JJ was hitting amazing approach. He was hitting it tighter than Scotty was most
He
of the
was.
holes. You
He
know,
was. He was.
um, And we all know how great Scotty is with his wedges and his irons. So like,
Yeah.
dude, JJ was hitting it really, really well. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have guys like having that kind of performance, and Justin Rose is four strokes back, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, no way,
No
Justin
way he's
Rose
coming
ain't
back
gonna make it.
for sure.
But dude, proved all the naysayers wrong.
100%, bro. Hey, so this is the next question I have for you, bro. So obviously Ted wasn't on the back for Sky today. There are some things talking about he had a personal matter with his family. So guys, again, let's make sure we are diligent in praying for wherever Ted has going on. Ted is a former guest of Golf and Gospel. I'm not going to act like Ted's my best friend, all this type of stuff, but because I'm cordial with him, I do want to make sure I'm covering him in prayer, and I hope the audience is doing that as well. I'm not sure if anything's going to come out before this episode comes out, but I want to make sure that we're diligently praying over Ted and whatever situation it is, man, that we see the fruits of God's Spirit come over that. But Ted is a very intricate part in Scotty's game, and he didn't have him on the bag today. Granted, it's not like Scotty played bad. He had to be replaced with Brad Payne. Brad Payne is actually the tour chaplain for the PGA. So great dude. Him and Scotty obviously had a great relationship. But do we think that it's a light question though? Do we think Ted not being there maybe has some effect on Scotty not closing like we're typically used to seeing? Maybe.
Yo, this whole Ted Scott thing is the new Brady versus Belichick, Ted Scott versus Scotty
Yeah.
Scheffler. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
No way. I think, obviously, in all seriousness, like the player plays a lot more of a bigger role.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if some of the shots that Scotty hit, because like I think on one of the par threes he hit it over and it went like just short of the
Yes,
bunker.
I seen that. Yep.
Um, I wonder how much of that was like the Scotty or the caddy not knowing Scotty that well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't feel like his charges were that far off though at times, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that here that could have costed him a stroke here and there.
Maybe. Yeah.
But still, I think Scotty's the guy that makes the putt. I think Scotty's the guy that reads the greens too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like he can override any decision that Ted Scott has.
He can.
But yeah, man.
But I just know, at least from Scotty. Scotty says like, man, Ted plays a huge part. Cause I think I saw in the interview that sometimes like in between shots, like Scotty's like looking at the birds, looking at the skies, looking at the trees. Cause I think he's trying not to be mentally exhausting by thinking too much in golf. So he kind of decompresses for a little bit. And then Ted's giving him the numbers, giving him the wind directions, and giving him the reads on the green, where's the grain growing, everything. And obviously, Scotty has an IQ where he can understand those things too. But he did give credit to how much, Ted helps out in that. And Scotty's like, man, if you could just give me accuracy in terms of like things going around the golf course, I can make the shot. So, but again, maybe that's a shot or two. Maybe it's not that deep. I'm not trying to make it as deep, but Ted not being there and how much Scotty credits Ted for a lot of his success. And again,
Yeah.
Scotty can't win every tournament. There's been time they've both been together, they didn't win. But I just wonder if those one or two shots maybe played a difference. But I think overall, we obviously hope the best for Ted and whatever's going on with that family situation. It's not really a risk because Scotty's going to be in the Tour Championship regardless. But in regards to just, like I said, resume, legacy, to add that to it would have been awesome. But yeah, I was very curious on your thoughts about Ted not being there.
Well,
But yeah, go ahead.
I think it'd be one thing if it was Scotty's worst day today, which I guess it technically
For sure.
was because he shot 67,
60,
but that
yeah,
tied his round one
yeah,
score, and he shot
yeah.
66 and 65. So it'd
67
be
is a
one thing
bad
if it
day.
was
It's crazy.
yeah, I know that is crazy. That is ridiculous. Um, but yeah, so it'd be one thing if it was like this is his worst round today. You know what's crazy though is that he shot 67, 66, 65, and he still had like a little like tantrum out there on the golf course.
Oh yeah, we did see that
Um,
little. I don't remember what hole it was, but yeah, he did throw a little bit of tantrum, man. I kind of hate when he reverts back to that, especially because again, as believers, man, we have a huge responsibility to reflect the gospel, and I know Scotty is not a pastor by any means or a teacher,
mhm.
but I know in James 3:1 it says, "Not are all called to be teachers; that teachers will be judged with greater strictness." I think that also goes to when we're very boastful in the gospel, there's going to be a greater strictness that is put upon us to make sure we're reflecting the gospel that we boast in, right? Now, granted, not trying to say Scotty should be perfect, when Scottie throws those tantrums, the Lord's grace covers that for sure. But again, just the weight of reflecting the gospel in terms of his fame and notoriety and his boastfulness in the gospel, that's going to be something that people probably are going to judge him a lot harder when he has those explosions and stuff like that.
Anyways, he's throwing tantrums shooting freaking
Yeah.
67. So
I know that is crazy. That is so crazy. Like, I mean, maybe that's probably because I don't see Scottie often getting double bogey, so he probably dropped a shot on that hole. It could have shot 66,
yeah,
but he still would have lost. But
I
like,
know. Yeah.
how you throwing a tantrum? Like, usually we see people throwing tantrums at like a 78, or I just went +4 over par, like, or I'm about to finish with a triple bogey. It's like, Scottie, you're an amazing scramble golfer. Why are you throwing a fit right now, bro? It is okay.
I know.
But that just shows his
Especially like
competitive side too. It shows his competitive side too.
yeah, yeah. That's why I think should be a little bit of grace for his tantrums, but it's like when you're that outwardly spoken with like your faith and being like a family man too, it's like
Yeah,
like you are held to a higher standard. So
comes with the territory, unfortunately.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I don't even want to say unfortunately. We're fortunate enough that
yeah,
does come with the territory.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. So
yeah. Good point, though, man. Hey, let's jump into the playoffs, though. So again, it comes down to Justin Rose, JJ Spawn. I would say off the rip, I love how deliberate they were in club selection on 18. They never switched up. JJ Spawn always went 3-wood off the tee,
yeah,
did what he had to do, and Justin Rose always went driver off the tee, did what he had to do. Now, I would say about Justin Rose in that first playoff, that, in my opinion, can go down as what's the word I'm looking for? Essentially, that would be one of the shots I would put in as a contestant as shot of the year. You're losing balance. Your feet are like on the penalty line. You don't have that much space to clear your hips. That was an incredible shot, and he got birdie there, bro. I think
yeah.
that
Gets
was
a
one.
tag.
Yeah,
No,
super
the
close.
first hole he got a par. Yeah, the first hole he got a par,
Did
but
they both par that hole?
yeah, they both parred
They both
the
par.
first
Okay,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
JJ Spawn hit it like way over there, and then
To the right.
Justin
Yeah,
Rose hit it like it's like 13 feet. But he had the
yeah.
same dude.
Both had the
That
same
was the
putt
one where
twice.
they both burned the
Par.
edge.
Yeah,
That
and
one
then
was crazy because
yeah,
like
yeah.
When Jay hit that putt, I was like, is he gonna end it right here and then
I
on the
know.
first playoff hole, and
Oakmont.
it lips out, and then freaking Justin Rose hits his putt. I'm like, is he gonna end it right here? And then it lips out again. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah. I love that tension. I love how it makes me feel, bro. But I think that goes down as one of the shots of the year, bro. Obviously, he didn't win with that shot, but it could have well been over. Because, like, they showed him one point he was trying to, like, set his feet, and he almost fell in the water. Yeah,
Oh
and the whole
yeah,
crowd, and the whole
and
crowd was like,
after he hit,
"Oh, yeah." And after he hit, he lost balance too, and almost went in the water.
yeah,
But to pull that off, bro, it just shows you how good these tour pros are. Now, Nate, I think you'll be able to pull that off. One, because you're left-handed, you wouldn't have to worry about
yeah,
that. But also, I think you have again your history with golf. You have a higher chance of making a shot like that, as opposed to me. If I try to swing for the fences, I'm going in the water, or I'm thinking like, dog, I gotta just kind of punch this up and hope. For me, as
yeah.
of lately, I've been putting well. Hopefully, one putt and get a par. But yeah, bro. But the playoffs was just crazy, dog. But yeah, talk about that second playoff, man. And both where those shots landed
Dude,
and how they finished.
part of me was like, there's a little bit of luck because like Justin Rose when he hit that tee shot was like, I wasn't trying to hit on the first playoff hole.
Yeah.
He was probably like, I wasn't trying to hit that tee shot,
Mm-hmm.
and it just cleared the
Just
water,
cleared it, bro.
and like it could have ended right there if
Could
he
have.
would have got a penalty, or if it was like a little bit closer to the water and he didn't have a stance,
Mm-hmm.
that it could have ended the playoff right there. So it's probably a little bit of luck, that he got away with hitting an errant drive,
Mm-hmm.
but still, like he still stuck to his game plan. Took driver on every playoff
Yes.
hole.
Yeah.
The second playoff hole was nuts because they both made birdie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the other thing I was gonna say is on the second playoff hole when Justin Rose hit his approach, he hit it to like 6 feet or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like the shadow between the ball and the hole,
Yeah. Yes, bro. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was like, that sucks that he has that to make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
And
has
it
to
was
make
downhill
that.
too. Downhill, like broke right to left, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
But then when he got up there, because JJ Spawn hit that putt and it went in. By the time Justin Rose was putting, the shadow like came up, and then the ball and because that's the toughest is like if there's a break in your line when you're especially when you're a good player like that. I mean, for them they probably can overcome that easily.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if you're like me, just who all I did was I peaked in college was like if I had that putt, I'd be like, dude, it's way harder. Dude, the
Mhm.
putt that he made to win was he had his shadow was in his line.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know.
Yeah, he did the
Yeah.
little aim point, and I was all like, all right, I think he's. I don't know why I was so confident in Justin Rose, but I was also really confident in JJ
I
Spawn.
was too. I did not question your spine at
Yeah,
all.
I was like, he's gonna make this. We're about to go to a fourth playoff hole.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. That's where the lab putter stock goes down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope we don't only remember that putt because that putt was like, it was very anticlimactic, bro. It's like, dang, he just pulled it off rip.
I low key thought his putt might have been a little bit harder because they were like it's kind of
Oh,
like
it's a
I
break. It's
think
a
they were
break
saying
on
it's
that side.
downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it was like a downhill slider. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll cut him a little because it went way past the hole. Went not
Oh,
like way
yeah.
past, but it went past the hole quite a
Mm-hmm.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
After he missed the putt. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like I low key was he was over that putt. I was like, I expect him to make this, but this seems like a
It's
little bit
tough.
of a
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a little bit of a harder putt than
Mm-hmm.
what Justin Rose had. So
Right. And it's funny if you're not like a golf head, bro. You look at that, you be like, "Oh, it's right there. Just make it." I'm like, "Bro, there's so much in this putt that you have to
I
read, or
know.
you can easily miss it." Like the number 3 player in the FedEx Cup standings right now, JJ Spawn. That is a
Yeah,
hard putt, but I think a lot of people don't watch golf, and you just think putting. You think putt. You think like, "Oh, this is easy. I just go to, pop stroke,
yeah,
and I do this, or putting lab, whatever all these other stuff we got in Arizona, stuff like that. You think, oh, I could just easily make that. Like, nope, you got brakes, you got the water pulling it, you got the green you got to read. There is a
yeah.
lot going on, bro. So that was an easy putt. I just was, and I say this lightly again, was disappointed because of how clutch he was putting. For like, as soon as he hit the face, I'm like, oh, that's it's over. Like, I wanted to be like, oh, it was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that was it. But I will say that I said this in the group chat with me, you, and Noah Reed. Um, this was a lot funner than the RBC Canadian because Ryan Fox and Sam Burns were not being
Pars. Yeah.
aggressive at all. They were playing so conservative, just
On a
kind of
par
waiting.
five.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, bro, and just trying to
Pars all
see
day on a
like,
par five.
yeah, like trying to see like, all right, who's going to mess up first. And then obviously Ryan Fox clutched up, and I think in the 5th playoff hole hit an amazing 3
Yeah.
wood,
Yeah.
like whatever,
Hybrid.
like
Yeah. Or
yeah,
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 three wood. Yeah.
like I don't know, like 6 feet or whatever, and ended up closing it. But at the end of the day, great playoff. This was super fun to watch. I keep trying to get my friends. I want them to fall in love with golf. Maybe not as much as me, but I want them to see the significance in it and see the joy in it like this playoff, man. I think people who listen to Golf and Gospel, again, like, subscribe, rate us on Spotify. Endings like this can make you say, like, there's something about this game that's enjoyable and it's very, very exciting. So,
That's. I try to get my patients to like golf, and I'll be
yeah.
like it'll be on TV, and like it's like if there's nothing on the line for you mentally, then there's like they don't care. But I'm like,
Mm.
if Rory makes this putt, you don't have to. You can minus one exercise, and they're like,
And then
please,
they're like,
Rory,
yeah,
make the
yeah,
putt,
I
and
like
then
that.
they'll
Yeah.
like miss and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there you go, get on the bike,
Yeah. And now I bet too, once they might see golf come on, they'll be like, let me check out this dude Rory because now he let me down last time and Nate made me get on the bike.
Yeah.
So now there's maybe some interesting golf because of that, man. But nah, that's amazing though. But again, shout out to Justin Rose, man. I think he is now the second oldest player to win the FedEx Cup playoff, along with VJ. He's the oldest to ever
Yeah.
win, and I think they said Justin Rose is 45 years old and 11 days years old, or whatever, if I said that properly, to win the FedEx Cup St. Jude. So congrats to him. I do want to talk about some guys who unfortunately are out of the playoffs, man. Some big names here. You got Jordan Spieth, sorry, Noah Reed, Wyndham Clark, Tony Finau, Minwoo Lee, Aaron Rye, and Jake Knapp. Who are some of the guys you're kind of like surprised or like you have some thoughts on in regards to, being out of the playoffs? Because now if you're not in the top 50 guys, for people who don't know, you're at risk. Well, you're not at risk. You're not automatically in the signature events next year. Top 50 get to go in the signature events from the FedEx Cup playoffs, and now you have to rely on maybe winning a tournament next year, or you have to get a sponsors exemption, or there's these things called the AON next swing and top 10. You have to to be dependent on those to get in. But right now, those guys do not have automatic exemption into sanctioned events, or you have to be in the top 30 official world golf rankings. So there's some more
Yeah.
implications on why this is bad. They didn't get into the top 50. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, it's more than just not being able to play in the BMW, but
Yeah,
I
for sure.
think one guy that was the most surprising was Jake Knapp because
Yeah.
he had been in contention in a lot of events this year, but just seems like he fell out of the top 50 just after this event too.
Yeah.
Dude, the other guy though, because I thought he was gonna make a run for Ryder Cup was Wyndham Clark.
He
Like
started
that,
to actually make a case at the end. He did make a case at the end as the
yeah,
season was coming
like
down to it.
he was kind of getting hot towards the end of the season, and I guess just got cold because he's not gonna play next week. So like
Yeah.
now his resume is kind of completed. Now he submitted his
Yeah.
job application for
Yeah.
the Ryder Cup already. So now
Yeah.
it's application under review. So
At that
yeah,
point,
whereas these other
yes.
guys are still kind of finishing their resumes, right? Oh, got
I know, like
other
Patrick
guys to do
Cantlay gets
list.
a chance. Patrick Cantlay gets a chance to still continue to
Oh
do
yeah,
his
there you
resume.
go.
Colin Morikawa gets an
Stan Burns.
opportunity. Sam Burns, a lot of guys, yeah, and
Yeah,
Wyndham Clark is in that tier with those guys. And
yeah,
unfortunately, yeah,
exactly.
you've turned in your resume, bro, and all you can do is kind of stay hopeful, man. I think one of the
Yeah,
biggest things, 'cause I have Wyndham Clark down as well. One of the biggest things for Wyndham Clark, man, is he's been a huge advocate for mental health and stuff like that. But I think that is one of the key factors he has to work on his mental game, bro. And I think I said this in the episode in
sure.
the past, bro. I think he's put his identity in winning too much. Now, granted, guys, when you play golf, go try to win a game. I'm not saying don't do that.
Mhm.
However, when he doesn't win, things are too bad. Like they're horrible. And then when he's winning, then like, oh, my life is good. Now, like at least from the outside looking in, because I don't know these guys personally. Sam Burns hasn't won in I don't know how many years. We don't see Sam Burns throwing temper tantrums and all this type of stuff. I think, granted, everyone has different mental challenges. And again, I'm not trying to put him down in regards to that, but I think that is a huge factor that Wyndham needs to work on because he has a good swing. He's a good golfer. He was an Olympic golfer for the USA last year. He was a top 5 FedEx Cup golfer last year. Was I think in the top 10 official world golf rankings last year. But the mental endurance that you had this year kind of exhausted itself from the outside looking in. And I think that's something he is going to heavily have to work on going into next year. I doubt he plays FedEx Cup fall. I don't think it's really needed. I could be wrong. Someone correct me in the comments. I'm okay with that. But if he wants to get back to the heights that we've seen him get to, even though, for lack of better words, we didn't really respect him when he was there,
Mhm.
I think he really needs to work on his mental, bro. But I think in regards to the end of his season, outside of today, he was making a strong case of like, okay, Wyndham's climbing, he's looking good,
Yeah,
and this type of momentum you want in playoffs, just kind of like in the NFL, man. If you can win those last 3 games going in as an 8th seed, there's hope. There's hope, but unfortunately, Wyndham's out. I would love to hear your thoughts on Jordan Spieth because he was close. He was close. He's a very sporadic golfer.
dude, I don't know, man. No offense to Noah, but I feel like
Noah.
it's like a it's like a nah, not even to Jordan Spieth. I'm not even gonna say no offense to Jordan. There's no offense to Noah,
Noah.
but I just feel like it's just been a rebuild year,
Mm-hmm.
for Spieth.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. It's his putter that he needs to figure out, right? Like he's like
Yeah.
60th and 64th in
Oh,
putting or something like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel like he does hit like errant drives and
He
iron shots
does,
though. Like
bro.
I
Oh
just
my gosh. Yeah.
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 If he can kind of just dial in his driver and his putter, I bet you that's all he really needs to work on. Is just like driver and his putter.
Yeah.
He can be back to
His
elite
wedge
status.
game's
I don't know.
amazing.
Yeah, like his short game. We all know
Yeah.
he can make birdie from off the green.
Yeah. Out of
So
the bunker. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, just driver and putter. It's just
Mm.
gotta, especially putter, man. Go see Scotty's putter coach.
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth
Absolutely.
and Nelly gotta go see Scotty's putting
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah.
That's what's gotta happen.
Jordan Spieth, what brand is he? I know y'all's wearing Under Armour stuff, but like
Titleist, right?
Titleist. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. But that mean, am I tripping? Does Titleist have
Scotty's
like a?
great.
Yeah.
Scotty Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. What I was saying from my perspective, and again, judge me if you want, audience. I don't know what his mindset was when he was 23 and he was winning all these majors. It seems like he's a little too analytical. like every time the mic was getting to him, I'm just like, man, this is too much thinking. Now, granted, when he was winning, I don't know if he was doing the same thing. I can be totally wrong, but every time I heard the mic to him, like it was just like it's impressive from an IQ perspective because it's like, okay, we got Zoysia lie here. We got the wind off the left. The grain's breaking this way on the green like it did yesterday. The wind's coming a little bit here. Oh, I see a shadow right here. And it's just like, these are cool things. But I'm like, when can you just go and hit the shot? Now, they're tour pros. That's probably what's required. But to me, and I can be wrong, audience, I can be wrong. It seemed like he was just very analytical where it's like, it seemed like this is too much mental. Well, like you can't freely
Yeah.
play. It's what it seemed like. I mean, Nate, let me know. I mean, you're a D1, you're a former D1 golfer, man. You've been in this sport a lot longer than me. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I'll say this: it's good to be like analytical. It's just sometimes that analysis can make you hesitate when you're over the ball, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when it becomes an issue. So
Yeah.
I remember watching like a good example is like when I was in high school. I remember watching that Phil Mickelson like Dave Faraday clip where Phil Mickelson's like, if
Mm-hmm.
it's in the morning, you got to take 5 yards. You got to
Yeah.
put 5 yards on it, and then
Mm-hmm.
all he like says all these things about like Zoysia if it's wet,
Mm-hmm.
because there's like morning dew and stuff like that. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
I'd be playing golf and I'd be like thinking all those things, and I'd be over a shot like an 80-yard shot and just be like, I gotta remember, I gotta pull a little off of it. But then there's like a bunker short of the pin, and I hit it, and it goes in the bunker or something like that. Because I'm like thinking, don't put too much on it, that kind of stuff. Don't hit it long, don't
Mm-hmm.
hit it short. So the analysis is great. You just once you make your decision, you gotta commit. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in Jordan's head, and that's the
Yeah.
thing is like if he's being overly analytical and not
Mm-hmm.
committing, that's the issue. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm always like, what one of my buddies will always say is like, if you hit if you hit a bad shot, that's okay. But if you go into a shot without a plan, without some sort of analysis,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
even worse. So
Yeah.
there's kind of two sides to that same coin.
For
It's like,
sure.
yeah,
For
you
sure.
got to be prepared for each shot, and you have to have
Mm-hmm.
done your homework for each shot.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just commit. Just commit to what you're gonna do. Commit to your plan, and try to execute that plan as best as you can.
Yeah, I can accept that, man. Like I said, I could be wrong with. I just like every time I hear him talking, I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, this is deep. And again, it's kind of impressive, and I know I can't put that to
Yeah.
my game, but to me, it's just like find your alignment. For me, where's the wind blowing? Okay, let me try to hit the shot. I'm not thinking that analytical about it. And granted, me just playing golf in Arizona, nothing's on the line that much at all. But me just trying to, break 80. But that's just something I just kind of realized. When I'm just like, man, is he being over analytical, man? But I think you make a great point,
Yeah.
going in with a plan and just trying to execute that plan and not overthinking. Like, be full committed to
Yeah.
that plan.
Just
That's what you're
commit.
gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Just
it was
commit.
once.
Like
It was. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah. Just
I
commit.
was saying, like he can execute every shot.
Yeah,
He's that good. He's
yeah.
that good that he can do any shot. Like
Hmm.
I don't know if his analysis is making him not commit, but
Yeah, because it was one shot he had, and he kind of hit a little bad. He was like, "Come on, you know it's Zoysia. It's gonna come out with this much spin rate." Do boom, boom, boom. I'm just like, dog. Like, I felt like that was like. And again,
yeah. So that might
my background's football. People can make fun of me talking about like, well, that's what they do in
yeah.
golf. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do know, but like to a PGA Tour pro perspective, I don't know because I didn't play on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, that might be why he's like, you come on, it's Zoysia, and like, because that might be him like not being. He's like talking to himself like, I couldn't commit to that. Like,
Hmm.
why couldn't I commit to that? I know it's Zoysia. I know it's gonna come out like this. I know I
Hmm.
gotta hit it a little long.
Yeah.
But then he probably was like, I'm gonna pull back because it's weird because like things like grain dude, honestly, my honest take on grain, I have no idea how to read grain on the putting green. I know grain
I'm
is a
trying.
real thing,
Yeah, I'm trying my best to learn too. Yeah.
and I played golf my whole life. I played at Division 1 level, and
Yeah.
I'm like still thinking like grain is just like an inside joke that the golf world is playing against me. That's what I think grain is, but 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 but
Yeah.
it's obviously like a real thing. Like if there are some greens that are pressed and you can see the
Hmm.
grain,
For
and
sure.
you get on the green and it's like the grain is pressed against this break and you stand on it and you're like looking, you're like it's gonna turn left, but then the grain
Hmm.
is pressed right or something like that.
Hmm.
It's really hard to like override the big slope that you see, and I think that's probably what was like when Jordan Speed was like, oh, it's Zoysia. He's probably like, I know I gotta put a little mustard on this ball but he
Mhm.
just sees like the back hill or the back bunker, and it's just like I don't want to put a
Mhm.
little oomph on it.
Yeah.
So he couldn't commit because the what you see isn't what you got to play,
Yeah.
and that's a huge like mental hurdle
Yeah.
that like a lot of golfers face. And he's probably just like, well, I don't want to put a lot of mustard behind it in the middle of it. He's probably like in the middle of his downswing, like, nah, pull off.
Yeah. That's some
Hits
hesitation.
it, yeah, has a little hesitation, doesn't commit to his plan, and then when he yells at himself, like, it's Soja. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when I hear something like that, I'm like, that's probably a didn't commit
Mhm.
reaction. I'm mad at
Yeah.
himself for not committing.
Yeah. Good point, bro. Another guy I want to talk about too is Minwoo Lee. He really, really cooled down after his win in Houston, man. I think he's a huge social media guy. I think the fans love him. Like I say, he cooled down. He got his win there, and I think he had no better finish than like a 43rd place, bro. So
Yeah,
you're kind of hoping that he finds something to click going into this. And I believe he finished last. And they said he finished his round on day 4 in like 2 hours and 10 minutes. So
really.
he was just trying to go. Like, man, I mean,
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I don't know Minwoo. He could be thinking different. But again, from the outside perspective, I feel like Minwoo was like, man, let me just go home. I'm not making it to the top 50. There's nothing I can do to whether help or hurt myself at this point. I'm just go out there and play. And I think he finished plus 10, something that was not impressive, bro. But I hope, and it's kind of like this whole life from what we see, again, from the outside looking in, that the success of his sister can challenge him to like compete with her in in
yeah,
in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like Minji Lee, obviously, I'm hating, but she won the Annika Major Award this year. Obviously, I wanted Mount Sega to win, but Minji Lee wins that award. She's won tournaments, she's won majors, and Moon Lee has one win, and it was an impressive win at Houston. I think he was 20 under when he won,
yeah,
but no real momentum came off of that at all, man. So I'm hoping for Minwoo next year that we see what it really looks like to cook, because we only saw
yeah,
you cook one time. You know what I'm saying? And I again in that stat I said his best finish is 43rd since winning. He's had some T12s and stuff prior to that, but
yeah.
ever since his win, never really seen him become a threat again. So we'll love to see that. And you know, there are two more guys I want to talk about. I don't want to get too much depth. I will let you take the floor if you want to talk about them. I was hoping for Aaron Rye. He's won this tournament before. Played really well the previous week. He's always a sneaky guy. I think we talked about him like, hey, there's Aaron
Yeah,
Rye in the top 5. Then he just kind of disappeared for a little bit. But I didn't
yeah,
think he was going to play himself out of the BMW. So, he's a guy that kind of plays in FedEx Cup Fall, so we'll probably see him still playing. And then Tony Finau, bro. That day 4 was not fun at all. 'Cause I think he was paired with JT. So I'm watching, the marquee group with him and JT. And I'm just like, bro, I'm more upset because, like I said, Tony Finau's one of my favorite golfers. I love his ball striking, but just like, what is happening? And I get people do have down years, man. But when you're a fan of a guy, it's like, man, I don't want to see you have a down year. But this
yeah.
down playing of golf has been too consistent. Where I'm like, bruh, come on, Tony Finau. But if you have any thoughts on Aaron Rod, Tony Finau, I would love to hear your perspective on that as well.
I don't know. I like Tony Finau's a great player. You know, he won 3 tournaments like 2 years ago and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, like the American
And he's
Express, and yeah.
yeah. I just like wonder if the putter is just not working, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's been pretty
Yeah,
bad for a while.
yeah. That's um, dude. The thing is, like with I was talking about Minwoo Lee. Like
Hmm.
it does kind of stink. Is like his sister is like always contending.
Every
Like
time.
she's like top 3, I think, in CME races CME.
Yes, yeah.
Um, so I wonder if that's kind of tough. Like when he won, he finally felt like he belongs, and then he felt like he had this pressure to play like he belongs, and then kind of fell off. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I like this. I think he's as talented as any other golfer
No
on tour.
question.
Like, he hits the
No
ball
question.
so well. Um, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just not cooking the rest of the year. You know.
He was not, bro. Unfortunately, man. Hey, last question I got for you. Kind of a fun question, but I just want to hear your thoughts on this, man. So I saw this stat come up how during the time when Phil Mickelson was like at the peak of his era, he spent 270 weeks at number 2, never reaching number 1. Obviously, unfortunately, he played in Tiger's era, so he's never going to reach there. My question for you is, do you think that Xander Schauffele is the Phil Mickelson of our era? Now, granted, yes, he's the number 3 golfer because you got Rory. But at the time
Yeah,
when he
right.
was the number 2 golfer, Xander was the number 2 golfer for 36 weeks straight. Now, him and Scottie are in similar age ranges where they're probably going to be competing for each other for a while. But do you think that Xander is the Phil Mickelson of our era, or do you think like that's a reach from me making that statement? That's okay if it is.
I don't know, man. Cause like
Or you think that
I
number
just
2 guy? You think that number 2 is just interchangeable? Like, it can be anybody, anytime.
no, cause like Phil was a more decorated golfer like than
Mm-hmm.
Xander, at least right.
For sure.
But even
For
like
sure.
up to a certain point, like Phil, like he came on the scene like super hot. Like we all knew
Mm-hmm.
who he was gonna be. I think
Mm-hmm.
he won the USAM, and I think
Mm-hmm.
he was number one amateur in the world when
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
turned pro, and then like the resume just backs it. He just happened like he probably would have been Scotty right now, but he just happened to
Yeah.
have come up at the same time as the
Tiger.
greatest golfer to ever walk the face of the earth. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that, dude. I'm gonna see if that makes anybody mad. Phil would have been Scotty if Tiger played another era. I'm gonna say that
Wow.
right now.
I like the take, man, because I feel a dog ball. I mean, 270 weeks at world number 2 is incredible. It's just unfortunate,
Yes,
again, you play with Tiger, man. So I don't think that's a bad take at all, man. But these Scotty stands out here, man. They're ready to picket, riot, and throw anything
dude.
they can when you do not speak only highly of Scotty.
Yes, dude. Yeah. You know what? That's actually interesting. Like, what if people compared Phil to Scotty instead of Tiger to Scotty? You know,
Yeah.
I wonder. I have no idea what his stats are. Like, if you just compare their stats, like scoring average and like
Hmm. Yeah.
maybe not earnings, 'cause that's not a real thing, but it's like what they
Yeah,
place into
earnings
like.
earnings too skewed because the purse changes all the time. So every time I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
like, oh, so and so's at number 4, I'm like, yeah, the purse back in 1990 was different than it was
72.
in
Yeah.
in 2012.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's a bit skewed, man. So yeah, but yeah, we'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on the FedEx Cup Championships, man. Super fun watch, man. But I want to move over to the most hated golf in the world right now, LIV Golf. And I want to formulate this question. I was thinking this to myself. Outside of how LIV is backed by Saudi money, why do you think that people hate LIV Golf so much?
I don't know. Like, I wonder if it's like the music or like how they do their events and stuff like that.
It's not traditional.
Yeah, it's like the Maxi Golf League and Happy
It
Gilmore.
wasn't that bad. It ain't that bad. Maxi Golf was
It
terrible.
kind of, but it kind of felt like they were like
Making fun
Maxi
of LIV.
Golf. Yeah,
I
it
thought they
felt
were.
like it, but
I thought they were taking a jab at TGL a little bit too, moving the greens around and everything.
yeah, or like TG. Yeah,
Yeah,
which like they obviously weren't super against Live if they have a bunch of Live players in the movie.
yeah.
But
Brooks and Bryson. Yeah,
yeah,
Bubba was
but
on there too.
yeah, Bubba was in there.
Hmm.
But I don't know, like the Live is a little bit flashier. Like when they do like the flyovers, because like a regular CBS flyover, it's just like here's the green, here's the tee box, here's the fairway, and then here's the
Yeah.
green, and this is how the green slopes. But the Live flyover has like the drone, and it's just like woo 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 woo, and it like flies around the green, and it like circles the green, and you're just like,
Hmm.
it's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know why it's not that well received. I feel like you know, who was it that said that like every win on the PGA Tour has an asterisk because of Live? I think every
Uh,
Live
Taylor
event,
Gooch. Taylor Gooch said that in regards to
Taylor
majors.
Gooch,
Yeah.
they're like every
Major
PGA
win.
Tour major win has to
Yeah.
have an asterisk now, and I'm like, dude, I think every Live event is an asterisk. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to explain like that. Someone like Joaquin Niemann can win 5 times and do nothing when there's PGA Tour events.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that says more about Live than it says more about the PGA.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
who's the guy that ended up winning, like Burmeister or something like that?
Dean Burmeister won today, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely, dog. Yeah.
who? Like who's
Yeah.
that?
Well, I think in the Open he finished with a T61. So I mean, like, made the cut, did all right, but Dean
Yeah,
Burmeister is not someone's name you're expected to hear. But my whole thing every time,
yeah,
because like when I look at the comments and like the PGA or someone brings up Live, it's just like, why is LIV hated so much? For me, I always say I just like watching good golf. There's still good golf over there. Yeah, it's not traditional style. They only play 3 days. You got some music and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't really see people like make fun of Bryson DeChambeau as an individual. Like they love him.
That's true.
But then
Yeah.
anybody else in LIV, it's just they just degrade him or say LIV is stupid and they can't play well because of LIV. But then when LIV wins a major, it's like, what is your response now? But and again, I'm not like saying I'm pro LIV. I just like golf in its entirety. Like if now I wouldn't say I intentionally go watch FS1 and put it on LIV, but if I'm scrolling, I see it, I'll probably click it. But I'm not like putting the alert on like the PGA. Obviously, PGA is the king of golf. Like, there's so much history.
For sure.
Duh. But I'm not understanding why LIV gets so much hate if we're talking outside of how it's backed. My opinion. I
Yeah.
think still some good golf in there. And if
Yeah.
we look at
I
today,
think
bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was I think it's great golf, and I
Yeah.
was also gonna say like I bet a lot of the guys in Memphis today wish they were in Live there where they can wear shorts, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yes. Yeah, super hot.
they're boiling out there. But sorry, what were
Yeah.
you gonna say?
No, I was about to say, yeah, just even speaking more on LIV and what happened today, man. We talked about this guy maybe about 5, 6 weeks ago, the ASU alum, Joseph Ballester played really, really
Yeah,
good golf today, man. It didn't finish in the way that he wanted to. I think he maybe finished like T2, a third or somewhere around there. He was actually in competition with John Rahm, who still hasn't had a win this year. He was close to winning as well, and he was in the competition with Dean Burnmeister, man. And we look at Joseph Balestier's like trending in terms of like just golf in its entirety. He's been trending up. I think his first one he was like a T50. Then his next one he was like a 43rd, and then he went 17th, 7, and then he finished in the top 5 this week, man. So we see that players can still ascend in golf against some still
yeah,
really good players out there, man. So again, anyone who lives in Arizona, of course, a lot of us know who Joseph Ballester is. Obviously, a guy like John Rahm loves them because they're both from Spain. Both went to ASU. But
ASU. Yeah,
I just wanted to kind of give that kid his credit, man, because he's definitely been just kind of up in this game. And he quoted saying, if I'm doing well off the tee, like, I'm hard to beat. And I think at one
dude,
point I saw him have like a 406-yard drive.
his off the tee is, I think his 195 ball speed.
It's crazy.
That's, I mean, dude, these young golfers are just hitting it so freaking far
Hmm.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder like can he play in like the majors because he hasn't like
He probably, like,
developed the resume.
yeah, I think it's certain stuff like U.S. Open, the Open, you can go qualify. Not sure what the
Yeah,
qualifications are if you want to go play at the PGA
well the
Championship
Masters,
or the Masters. Well,
the Masters invite only. Like
yeah,
yeah,
or you got to be like the #1 amateur or something like that, and which he was at the time. But I
right.
don't know if that's obviously, you know, is scratched now because he's in live. So I don't know how he can. I don't know how he can get invited. I know there was certain times like Joaquin Neiman like won a tournament. He's like, oh, by Joaquin Neiman winning this, he just qualified for the PGA Championships. So I'm not sure what the stipulations are for him to maybe get an opportunity to go play in the Masters and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I'm not sure. Um, but I have a really good discussion for us, man. So again, guys, like, subscribe, rate us on Spotify, man. So there's a golfer who played on the PGA Tour. His name is Hudson Swafford, 2-time winner on the American Express, 3-time PGA Tour winner. Reportedly received a 5-year suspension from the PGA Tour for joining LIV Golf. And at least with the American Express, he gets a 10-year exemption, so we will see him again in 2027. But the first question I have for you, do you think this would discourage guys like Brooks, Bryson, and Rahm from returning to LIV to the PGA with the risk of there being a 5-year exemption? Not exemption, excuse me, 5-year
Suspension,
suspension? Yeah.
dude. I thought we were past all that. Wait, so when did this happen? Like this guy
I
get the
read this.
suspension
Yeah, Hudson Swafford. I read this report today. He's receiving a 5-year
today?
suspension, yes, from the PGA for joining LIV. And again, even though he
Dude,
won the American Express, you can get a 10-year exemption. We won't see him again until 2027.
I mean, yeah, for sure, it probably does. But it's like I think the PGA should just get over it. Like, I think if the Live doesn't have an event during the signature event or during like the majors, they should allow Live players to play in those, especially like big names like that. That's gonna draw more eyeballs to the TV screens. Like, at the end of the day, the PGA Tour is a business, and the ratings is what drives their revenue. So it's like, get these guys in there. Make the business decision. Obviously, if they suck, it's like, well, don't get them just because they're a name. But like, let's get more eyeballs on TV screens. Let's make golf more entertaining. Because I mean, just think about like today, it would have been better if Rory played. Because it would have at least made the playoff more interesting. It's like, hey, both these guys lost to Rory in playoffs this year. It would have made it interesting. It would have made it feel better. But yeah, of course it deters guys from joining LIV, especially young players. But it's like,
well, I want. Well, oh yeah,
over.
that's also true. Yeah, it could deteriorate guys from joining LIV, but I think the PGA wants that. I think it hurts guys from LIV coming back to the PGA. Because now if you give them a 5-year exemption like you just did Hudson Swafford, like, you're making a lot of these guys kind of not be able to compete in their prime for the most part. Now, granted, golf has longevity. A person's prime can be at 37. You know what I'm saying? But that's my whole thing, man. I don't know if they're going to change that rule. And if it does, I think Hudson Swafford should be able to throw in an appeal. Because obviously I feel like certain rules are not allocated to certain players. I think there are times like in sports, one guy may get suspended for 8 games and someone does that same exact thing, but a bigger name, he might get suspended for 2. Sometimes there's inconsistencies in those things. So I wonder if because I think the contracts for these guys end in 2026. And let's say they be like, okay, well, my contract ends. I want to come back to the PGA Tour. Are you going to make Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, maybe Brooks, John Rahm, go to Q school, go play on the Korn Ferry, or like, suspend them for 5 years? I wouldn't think so. So I think the PGA is going to have some on their hands that they do try to come back, because you can't treat Hudson like that, but then not treat Brooks, John, and Bryson. Yeah, for sure.
That's a good point. Because like wasn't there an interview this year, like before one of the majors, where they're like asking like Bryson, like, hey, are you going to join the PGA Tour because your contract ends this year?
I don't know if they asked. I don't know if they asked him if he's going to join the PGA, but they just asked him about what's the contract negotiations look like right now with LIV, and he said they're in good talks right now. I don't know how long that extension can be, but I mean, it's something that he has to think about. The PGA has to think about as well, because there's no way you're going to make Bryson sit 5 years or go back to Q school, bro. There's no way.
Yeah.
If you try to go back to
But I also can see it's like you can't just give this. Oh, I guess he is exempt because he won the U.S. Open. So you're exempt for like 5 years if you win the major.
I guess major's different. You're right. I'm thinking regular PGA tournament.
Same with John Rahm. So like
Masters,
since he won a Masters like two years ago, he's probably exempt if he wants to go back. But it's like, what about Brooks won the PGA in 2022?
He went back to back, I think, at one point.
Yeah, but like, what about like DJ? Like, if DJ wants to come back to the PGA Tour,
I don't know. He's terrible.
I think Cam Smith could come back to the PGA Tour and still be exempt. I'm not gonna lie.
Send Cam Smith to Q school. you can send Cam Smith to Q school, bro. Everyone else, like, Bryson and Rahm, like, you welcome them with open arms.
Yeah, what about DJ? Like, what if... I could see why you would make Phil be like, no, because Phil was very outspoken about the PGA. He was saying some stuff about the PGA before LIV was a thing. Yeah. So I can see why, like, you're a little bit more harsh with a guy like Phil. Even though I'm not saying that they should be. I want Phil on tour. Keep him in the league,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, what if like DJ wants to come back in and they're just like, no, and it's like, dude, DJ gave us tons of entertaining golf for years and years and years, and you're just not gonna let him back in the league? Yeah, I don't know. But I also kind of see like they should have standards.
They should. I just hope their standards I hope their standards are equal across the board for everybody.
That's a good point too.
Yeah, it's not like they all committed different acts of crime per se. They all committed the same act. They should all get the same punishment. Now, granted, we don't want them to get the same punishment if they're allowed back into the PGA at some point. Like, we want to be able to say, like, all right, boom, it's waste management and Bryson DeChambeau's here. You know what that's going to do to a crowd, bro? Or like we're back at a signature event. Here comes John Rahm. Like, we would be ecstatic. But if you decide to let them in, well, it's two things that can happen. If you let them in without any punishment, then a lot of PGA guys are going to be upset because that's like, man, I could have went and snagged some money for 2 years and came back to the PGA Tour with no problems. Some of them might think that. So I'm saying, like, man, what about the integrity of the game? Like, we were loyal to you guys. How are you going to let them go in and out as much as they please without any punishment? So I think the PGA and the new commissioner, because I don't think it's Jay Monahan anymore, are going to have some things to think about in regards if that happens. Like I said, contracts end in 2026. Maybe there could be a gang of re-signings coming at the end of LIV if these guys re-sign and get back on tour, back on LIV tour. But yeah, man, I just thought it was very interesting, bro. Like, are y'all gonna give that same punishment to those top tier names that do bring eyes to golf, or what are they gonna do? So again, if you have a thought, as the audience, man, let us know in the comments. What would you do? Would you give them the 5-year suspension in terms of Bryce, Brooks, and John Rahm, or do you just kind of let them come back to the PGA and maybe make them write a handwritten apology? I would love to know your thoughts on that, man.
Yeah. That would be crazy if like Bryson just comes back and then it's like, yo, you just suspended this guy 5 years. You know,
and I know a guy like Rory would be hot. He would, because he was like a sacrificial goat, man. Rory went up there and spoke all this stuff about PJ versus LIV, man. And I think at one point, I think this was on Full Swing, they kind of like removed him from any of the meetings from here on out at some point where he wasn't really a part of them anymore.
You know, Rory stepped down.
He stepped down, so that was his own decision. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Because he was like, because like he started to suck at golf, and then like he stepped down from the meetings, and then he started to play a little better, and then he won the Tour Championship and stuff like
there
that.
There it is. Yeah.
But he was offered a ton of money, and he like doubled down on like, if you go to LIV, you're evil. Like he kind of doubled down on that, and then like, wasn't it like last year or 2 years ago the PGA announced that they're gonna merge with LIV, and then like Jay Monahan like shook the guy's hand that like shook Greg Norman's hand
at the time,
and stuff like that. Because Greg Norman's not with LIV anymore. At the time it was Greg Norman, and it's like they kissed and made up, and then Rory was like, now I really feel like I got stabbed in the back.
Fairly so, though. I will say fairly so for Rory. And now neither one of those guys are commissioners anymore. Yeah,
now neither one. But like what's this drama here? And this, I don't know. I guess I work with a bunch of high school kids, and I'm like telling you, high school never ends. Like freaking adults are immature, and I'm like, this is Exhibit A right here. Like these guys can't get along. You know, you guys are grown adults, and you know, in very high leadership positions. Figure it out.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. But yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on LIV Golf. Maybe you guys don't have any. Many of y'all probably skipped this section of LIV Golf. But again, golf is golf, man. We like to talk about golf, and that is what it is, man. But let's move on to our final segment here, predicting the BMW Championships. I think the thing is more interesting when we come to these predictions. It's not more so like who's going to win like any of the regular tournaments. Like, man, who's going to continue to keep their season going? So I think it's more interesting to see what those bubble guys are going to do as opposed to who's going to win, because we might still see like our big name guys in the top. Like when we saw Scottie, JJ Spawn, I was like, all right, this is still fun because we want to see who's going to win some golf. But it's like these guys are 1-5, so it's like all right, whatever. We'll see at the Tour Championship. But those bubble guys are way more interesting, man. So because the field's a little smaller, let's go with 3 picks, 1 dark horse, as opposed to our original 4 picks, 2 dark horses.
Dude, I'll go. I think I'm gonna go with Sam Burns as the first.
Okay.
Because this is a long course. It's par 70, and it's like 7,600 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's above half in driving distance, above half in driving accuracy, and we all know he can putt.
Mm-hmm.
So
he can.
I also think he's got some sort of Ryder Cup implications, because
he needs
last I saw, actually I don't know what he is. I don't know what he is right now. He was like 14th or something like that. So I feel like he just, you know, he doesn't want to. His application still being reviewed to Keegan Bradley, right? So,
it is.
He can try to sneak a little something to his resume, to his application.
Currently 24th.
He's 24th in Ryder Cup standings.
Well, you're right. He's probably 14th. This was a total FedEx Cup standings, so that's my fault. Yeah, he's probably 14th. He's probably 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's just got a few things he can do to submit his application for the Ryder Cup team. So, I'm gonna pick a lot based off that though.
Yeah. First guy I'm gonna go with, and this is a bit of a reach, but I think he's back. He said in an interview on Golf Channel last week he was battling some injuries a little bit towards the end of the season, so we didn't see him quite have the fire he did in the beginning of the season. But bro, I'm going Andrew Novak, bro. Andrew Novak played incredible this last weekend, bro. I think he finished somewhere either like in a T6 somewhere, and we always see that he's a big hitter too. When he had that, he won a playoff. Was it a playoff with Justin Thomas, or just like in the regulation?
It was him and no, they were in playoffs, and then JT, yeah.
It made that, but he was out driving. Yeah. He was out driving Justin Thomas every single time. So again, because he's a big hitter, bro, and again, I think he's about to start to climb his momentum back up because, my opinion, his right-hand man, Ben Griffin, has been getting way more attention as an individual than opposed to when they were both on the Zurich. And now Novak is starting to come back into his own, playing really well, good golf. He didn't play well at the Wyndham Championships. He did miss the cut. But I think after he mentioned that he was battling injuries and these injuries have at least feel better or have subsided, played really, really good golf at the FedEx Championships, bro. So I'm going to go with the homie Andrew Novak. Some people might see him more of a dark horse pick. I might be reaching a bit, but I think the way he just finished too, maybe he has a good chance.
I would consider him a dark horse, but, you know.
That makes sense. He probably is.
Pick him because you like him, you know.
Yeah.
And speaking of picking someone because you like him,
I'm
going to pick Victor Hovland.
Here we go.
Jinx. So, little disappointment from this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the time that this is his response. We'll see how he responds, and I think he is the highest ranked ping player right now. So
okay.
So Ping needs him to put on for them. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Let's go Victor Hovland.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, what happened this weekend with him, man? What the heck was that?
I have no idea, man.
He finished like 64th or something like that. Dude.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Luckily, he wasn't at. Oh yeah, Novak was T6, by the way. Luckily,
okay.
Yeah, he wasn't at jeopardy of getting outside the top 30, or top 50, excuse me, with the way he played. But I mean, we all can recall what he did in 2023, when he just kind of literally, I think he won like $20 million.
On a tear.
He went. I think he won like $20 million within like the final 3 weeks, and it was like, what the heck is happening right now? So, and it was Ryder Cup year for him too. So, you know, maybe we see a repetition of that. I highly doubt it, but maybe.
Actually, Victor finished T32 after shooting 4 over, so he's got a little momentum going into this weekend.
If you call that momentum,
dude. But so he was 4 over, and then he finished 4 under.
That's a good finish.
You know, he had to kind of climb back. Mm-hmm. Let's go, Victor. Get some tenacity. Get your putter freaking working, dude. What's going on there, man?
That's been his whole issue again throughout his career.
Dude,
so
get that putter going.
We will see, dog. We'll see. Next person I'm gonna go with is a guy who's been showing steady growth as this end of the season has been coming to an end, and again, Ryder Cup implications for the European side. I picked this guy maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Going Matt Fitzpatrick, bro.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that.
I have to, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, we just seen incredible play from Justin Rose. We just seen incredible play from obviously you got your guy Rory. You got incredible play from Tommy Fleetwood, Ludwig Oberg. We need him to be able to.
Weekend.
Yeah, solid weekend. Finally, right? T9 for Ludwig Oberg. I want to see a guy like Matt Fitzpatrick continue to climb his ranks too and being in those numbers with everyone else. He was a part of that 2023 Ryder Cup team that obviously played amazing when they just kind of destroyed the USA team. But I'm gonna go Matt Fitzpatrick, man, just because he's trending. Been playing well. Nothing statistically really wows you, especially on this long course. But, you know, I'm just have hope for him with the Ryder Cup implications. I'm kind of going like what you did last week. Like, man, I'm solely picking people off of Ryder Cup because, again, depending on who you are in the playoffs, it's not necessarily like, oh, man, who's going to win, but, like, who's just going to continue to further their season. A win for someone can be like, I just finished in the top 30. That's a win for me. I get to keep playing. At that point, it's kind of like what a lot of people say, man, get in as an 8th seed, and if you get into the playoffs, anyone can win. So I just want to see Matt Fitzpatrick just kind of get into the playoff as a 8th seed in this particular analogy, and then go on to hopefully contest for the Tour Championships, but in reality, just make a reason why Luke Donald should pick you.
Yeah, it's true. Like, these guys at this point who are in the postseason, or any of these guys are good enough to snag a victory.
Yeah.
So another guy that, again, this is weird because he's, applying to the job opening that he's created, is Keegan Bradley. He's still got to do a little something to put his resume together so he can submit it to his own HR department.
Yeah. He has to make it make sense for why he either picks himself or he gets into that top 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I am nervous because, this is such a long course, and he's not a big hitter.
He's not.
But,
he's not.
I mean, this is the thing. So, if you hit it short and you're playing a long course, you got to get good at lag putts because you're very likely not going to hit it very close on very, very tight on these long par 4s because, it's hard to hit it to 5 feet or 10 feet from 200 yards than it is 150. So, with his putting and him being able to flip the switch, kind of like what Bruce said last week, if he flips the switch with his putter, he could make a lot of lag putts and just kind of pull a JJ Spawn and all of a sudden be up there at the top of the leaderboard this weekend. So
yeah.
Let's go, Keegan. Good luck with your interview process to make the Ryder Cup.
To himself, right? One guy I'm going to go with who not really a fan favorite per se, and I haven't really been high on him as of late. He didn't have a good major year. I think he only made the cut in one major, but in terms of Ryder Cup 2023, he was one of the better guys on the USA team. Just finished this week good with a T9th. I think he's someone you do need for the Ryder Cup just based off experience. There's probably someone way better than him playing, but again, all those guys that are playing better than him are in their youth, and I don't know if Keegan can trust him yet. But if he can build off what he did this week in St. Jude and carry that over to Maryland, he can maybe make himself a case. Going Patrick Cantlay, and I know, guys, he has not had the season that we've wanted, though. But again, get hot in the playoffs, man. A T9 is really good, bro. Really good. Project yourself into the BMW Championship. Get into the Tour Championships, bro. I think if he just gets to the Tour Championship and just shows glimpses, Keegan's going to be like, man, you can be a really good team player for us because you're not dependent to just go win. No hat, bro. We're not depending on you to win a whole tournament versus a field of, 70 or 156 people. We just need you to be a good team player, have ice in your veins. And I think if you try to, if you poke the bear with Cantlay, bro, I think he's like, oh, I'm about to show up from what I saw in 2023. So if he could continue to build off what he did at St. Jude, bring it into Maryland, take it to East Lake, I think he makes a case for why Keegan should pick him.
Yeah, dude. Who knows? Watch him play well, and Keegan just doesn't stop wearing a hat, But, all right. Dude, so sleeper is hard because it's who's a sleeper, And
according to Bruce, everybody, everybody but 10 people.
Yeah, everybody but 10 people. It's like Scottie, Rory, a few of those guys.
Yeah.
Now, freaking, I think JJ Spawn is not a sleeper anymore.
It's good to see him. Thank you for playing.
He's showing
good. Yes.
Yes, dude. It's weird because it's I bet JJ Spawn 2 years ago or even last year was just dude, if I can just make a cut, I'd be happy. Mm-hmm. And then now he wins or he gets runner-up at the Players, and he's just I freaking belong here.
I belong here.
What, Scotty? Yeah.
What, Scotty?
I freaking beat you, you
know?
Yeah,
for sure.
So, good for him. But I think this guy's more of a sleeper. Is Cam Young.
Okay,
I know he won last week, but aside from that, just hasn't been a legitimate winner and hasn't won big events. But again, he's a little bit on the outside looking in when it comes to Ryder Cup. And I think he hits the ball plenty far. He's a younger guy, so yeah, he's gonna be my sleeper pick.
I like that too, and we kind of talked about this before we got into the call, man. Cam Young actually switched his grips and switched his golf balls, which has played tremendous part in this game. He went from Golf Pride MCC Align Max Grips, which featured a raised ridge on the back for better club face awareness. Yeah, so he switched to that. And then he went from a Tyler's Pro V1 X ball. to a Pro VX left dot golf ball. Different spin rate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, different spin rate too. So, and that kind of played true again this week. I mean, he finished solid again at the FedEx St. Jude. So, I think that is a very solid dark horse pick. A guy we don't have to put too much high hopes to win again, but like he's finally showing you that I can win. And obviously, these new changes have helped this game tremendously because it's not like he choked it off like he did at the RBC Canadian, obviously other times throughout, his career, man. He knows how to close at this point. Like I said, he win them by what, 6 strokes? 4 strokes, I think?
Yeah, he won by Lance. Dude, one of my buddies was telling me about the left dot golf balls, and it's like, because the X is like spinnier than the Pro Vs. But the left dot makes it like a little firmer.
Yeah.
But still maintains some of the spin rate. It's like in between. Something like that. I don't know, but I was trying to find the text message he's telling me about it.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't get that golf ball. It's like you can't just buy. I mean, it's hard. Like it's a lot more rarer. Like you can't just go to PGA Superstore
just buy
or Amazon and buy a left dot. Yeah. So that's oh shoot, big time Cam Young. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My dark horse pick, man. We talked about how long the course is, bro. We talked about how this guy did really good playing with Rory McIlroy, finishing him off, at the Scottish Open, going Chris Goddard up, man. 7th stroke gain off the tee, number 3 in driving distance. And again, I said this maybe 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. Doesn't always hit the fairway, but he's number 12 in scrambling. So he didn't really show that this week. I think he probably finished like somewhere below like T45, so it wasn't his best showing. But I think longer course, maybe better, because again, a guy like Keegan Bradley probably won't be able to do what he has to do in terms of distance. Some other guys who aren't big hitters as well may not have to do what they have to do as well in terms of making themselves have an easier approach shot as opposed to hitting maybe a 180 shot in. Chris Goddard's probably hitting a 120 shot in. And like I said, that kind of played true a little bit too when we look at Andrew Novak and Justin Thomas at the RBC Heritage. Novak always had like an easier approach shot in. Now, granted, short game means everything. And that putt that Justin Thomas had to win was just crazy. But if Chris Goddard can hit his drive, give himself some solid approach shots, hit some greens, man, and just continue to be super consistent in scrambling, maybe he can win. And also, maybe he can throw a wrinkle in there, too. Like, dang, do I really have to consider this guy for the Ryder Cup? I think he did just kind of hurt his chances here, but he's still in the field, so he didn't have to turn his resume. He's like, you know what? I had a bad outing. It's like I had a bad preseason game, but, I still got games 2 and 3 to make up for it.
Yeah.
So, man, Chris Goddard, man, continue to do what you're doing on link-style courses and bring it here to Maryland, dog. Let's see you get a dub here or just continue to get into the top 30 because I think currently he is 20.
Ryder Cup.
He's 26 in FedEx Cup. So, he's probably like – in reality, he is considered a bubble guy because anywhere from 25 to 35 is considered a bubble guy. So, even your guy, Victor Hovland, right now, Victor Hovland's a bubble guy, technically. He's 28.
Victor,
So,
but Goddard up, you're absolutely right. Like 26, if he just stinks, like there's easily 4 guys that can sneak in that are outside that, right? So
he actually dropped 4 spots too. By the way he played, so he was actually at 22, and now he's at 26. So he obviously can't repeat what he did this week, or at least at the least you're in the signature events for next year. But I want to make Keegan think about you, like, man, do I pick this guy here?
I kind of want that for him too. Yeah.
I
kind of want that, and I want that for Keegan Bradley. I want a little stressful situation for him, because it's like a good problem,
It is.
But I don't know. At the same time, it could be like if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. It's like if you were, I don't know. I have no like. It's different because it's golf, but it's definitely gonna make it a little stressful for him if Chris Goddard shows up.
That's true, man. But, hey, guys, I would love to know who your thoughts are on the BMW. Not necessarily to fully win, but, like, man, who can continue to add to their resume in regards to Ryder Cup, who can continue to get into that top 30. A lot of big names on the bubble. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, please like, subscribe, rate us on Spotify, and we'll see you on the next episode of Golf and Gospel Podcast. I'm Geremy, and this is the homie Nate Wong. Peace.